If someone truly misses you, they don't sit around waiting for the perfect moment. They don't make excuses. They don't hide behind fear, pride, or confusion. When a person misses you deeply, something inside them pushes them to act, because missing someone isn't just a feeling, it's a force, and that force demands expression. Too many people waste their time trying to decode silence. They stare at their phones waiting for a message that never comes. They replay old conversations searching for hidden meaning. But the truth is simple. Real feelings create real actions. When someone misses you, they will reach out. They will find a reason. They will make a way. People always find time for what matters to them. They find energy for what they care about. They find courage for what their heart wants. If a man truly misses you, distance won't stop him. Busyness won't stop him. Fear won't stop him. Pride won't stop him. He will move mountains just to hear your voice, just to see your face, just to feel connected again. Now, this doesn't mean he won't struggle. He might fight his emotions. He might try to convince himself he's fine without you. He might tell himself to stay strong. But the heart has its own language. And when that heart misses someone, it eventually speaks. Sometimes the delay is not about lack of feelings, it's about fear. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, fear of getting hurt again. But even fear gets tired of fighting real emotions. Sooner or later, the heart wins. That's why you should never chase someone to prove your worth. You don't need to beg for attention. You don't need to remind someone of your value. When you are truly important to someone, they already know your worth, and they will act accordingly. Your job is not to force someone to miss you. Your job is to become so rooted in self-respect, growth, and confidence that anyone who loses you feels the absence deeply. When you walk away with dignity, when you choose peace over drama, when you focus on becoming better instead of bitter, that's when your absence becomes loud. Missing someone is powerful. It creates longing. It creates reflection. It creates clarity. And clarity leads to action. So if he truly misses you, trust this. He will find a way. He will text. He will call. He will show up. He will reach out. Because genuine emotions don't stay silent forever. And until that moment comes, choose yourself. Build your life. Protect your peace. Grow into your best version. Because whether he returns or not, your growth is the real victory. True feelings always create action, not excuses. When someone genuinely cares, their emotions naturally push them toward movement. They don't sit in confusion for too long, and they don't hide behind reasons like being busy, tired, stressed, or unsure. Real emotions demand expression. When a person truly misses you, the feeling becomes too strong to ignore, and eventually they act on it. Excuses are easy to make, but effort requires intention. Anyone can say they are busy, overwhelmed, or distracted. But the truth is, people always find time for what matters most to them. No matter how packed someone's schedule is, they still find moments to check their phone, scroll social media, or relax. If they can find time for those things, they can find time to reach out when their heart truly wants to. When someone misses you deeply, small actions become important. A simple text, a short call, or even a brief message becomes a way to feel close again. They don't wait for the perfect words or the perfect time, because the desire to connect becomes stronger than the fear of interruption or inconvenience. Their heart pushes them to close the distance, even if only for a moment. Sometimes people delay action because of pride, fear, or uncertainty. They might wonder how they will be received or worry about reopening old emotions. But genuine feelings do not stay quiet forever. They build up inside until they need release. Eventually, the need to connect becomes greater than the fear of rejection or embarrassment. This is why consistent silence often speaks louder than words. When someone continuously makes excuses and avoids reaching out, it usually shows a lack of emotional priority rather than a lack of opportunity. Because when the heart is involved, excuses slowly disappear and effort naturally increases. Understanding this helps protect your self-worth. You stop blaming yourself for someone else's. Silence. You stop overanalyzing every detail. Instead, you recognize that if someone truly feels deeply, their actions will reflect it. This mindset allows you to let go of waiting, hoping, and chasing, and instead focus on your own growth, peace, and happiness. People always find time for what truly matters to them. Time is not something we discover, it is something we choose. Every day, people make decisions about where their energy goes, what they focus on, and who they prioritize. When someone genuinely cares, they don't wait until life becomes calm or perfect. They create space, even in chaos, because connection becomes a necessity, not an option. Even the busiest people find moments to do what they love. They check their phones, reply to messages, scroll through social media, or relax when they need a break. These small moments prove that time is available. It is simply directed toward what feels most important. When someone misses you deeply, reaching out becomes one of those priorities. A short message, a quick call, or a simple check-in becomes natural, not forced. True interest reshapes priorities. When someone values your presence, your absence becomes noticeable. They begin to feel the gap in their routine, the quiet in their day, and the emptiness in their conversations. That awareness pushes them to reconnect. It doesn't require long hours or perfect timing, it only requires intention. Even a few seconds are enough when the heart is involved. When people say they are too busy, it often means they are emotionally unavailable or distracted by other priorities. It doesn't always mean they don't care at all, but it does show that something else currently holds more importance in their life. Understanding this truth helps you avoid taking silence personally. It allows you to see that their lack of action is a reflection of their priorities, not your worth. This realization is powerful because it gives you clarity. You stop waiting for someone to suddenly make time for you. You stop hoping circumstances will change. Instead, you begin to value those who show up consistently and invest their energy willingly. You learn to appreciate effort, not words, and presence, not promises. Silence does not always mean a lack of care. Sometimes it reflects fear, emotional confusion, or inner conflict. Many people struggle to express their feelings, especially when emotions become deep and vulnerable. They may want to reach out but hesitate because they are unsure how their message will be received. The fear of rejection, misunderstanding, or reopening old wounds can hold them back, even when their heart is urging them forward. Emotional uncertainty can be overwhelming. When someone is caught between missing you and protecting themselves, they often choose silence as a form of safety. Staying quiet feels easier than risking emotional exposure. They may replay conversations in their mind, question their intentions, and debate whether reaching out will bring comfort or pain. In these moments, silence becomes a shield against possible disappointment. Past experiences also shape this behavior. If someone has been hurt before, they may become cautious, guarding their emotions carefully. They might believe that staying distant is a way to maintain control and avoid vulnerability. Even when they miss you deeply, their fear of getting hurt again can overpower their desire to reconnect, causing them to delay or avoid communication. However, emotional conflict rarely lasts forever. Feelings tend to grow stronger when they are suppressed. The more someone tries to ignore their emotions, the more intense they become. Over time, the heart demands clarity. This is when many people finally gather the courage to reach out, driven by the need for emotional relief and understanding. Recognizing this helps you develop patience and emotional maturity. Instead of immediately assuming rejection, you learn to consider the complexity of human emotions. At the same time, you understand that while fear can explain silence, it should not excuse prolonged absence. Healthy connections require honesty, effort, and emotional presence, not endless uncertainty. Never chase someone to prove your value, because your worth does not depend on another person's attention or approval. When you chase, you place yourself in a position of need, as if your importance must be confirmed by someone else. This weakens your self-respect and slowly drains your confidence. True connection should feel natural, mutual, and balanced, not forced or one-sided. Chasing often comes from fear of losing someone, fear of being alone, or fear of not being enough. But when you constantly pursue someone who is distant, you begin to send a silent message that their presence is more valuable than your dignity. Over time, this creates emotional imbalance, where one person invests more while the other grows comfortable giving less. When you stop chasing, you give space for clarity. If someone truly cares, your absence will make them reflect. They will realize what they are losing. Distance can reveal emotions more clearly than constant availability. Stepping back allows the other person to choose you freely rather than feeling pressured or obligated. Self-worth grows when you choose peace over desperation. Instead of waiting for attention, you begin focusing on your own growth, goals, and happiness. You invest energy into becoming stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. This shift not only heals emotional wounds, but also makes you more attractive, because confidence and self-respect naturally draw people in. By refusing to chase, you protect your emotional health. You set boundaries that communicate your value without needing words. You show that love and connection should be shared, not begged for. And in doing so, you create space for relationships that are built on mutual effort, respect, and genuine desire. Self-respect makes your absence powerful because it changes the way people experience losing you. When you walk away with dignity, without drama, anger, or desperation, your absence creates a deep emotional impact. Instead of relief, the other person feels a sense of loss. They begin to notice the silence, the empty space, and the missing presence that once brought comfort, warmth, or joy. When you maintain self-respect, you do not beg, chase, or demand attention. You simply step back and allow space to do its work. This space gives the other person time to reflect. They start remembering the small things: your voice, your support, your care, your laughter, and your understanding. These memories grow stronger when they are no longer easily accessible. Absence becomes powerful when it is paired with strength, not neediness. If you disappear in anger or bitterness, it creates tension and conflict. But when you step away calmly and focus on your own growth, your silence becomes meaningful. It shows emotional maturity and inner confidence. This often makes the other person question their decisions and reconsider your value. Self-respect also protects your emotional well-being. Instead of staying stuck in pain, you redirect your energy toward healing, improvement, and personal success. As you grow stronger, happier, and more fulfilled, your life becomes richer. Ironically, this growth often draws people back because they sense the shift in your energy and confidence. By choosing self-respect, you transform separation into strength. You stop defining yourself by someone else's choices and begin standing firmly in your own worth. And when you do this, your absence doesn't weaken you, it becomes your quiet power. When someone truly misses you, they will reach out no matter what stands in the way. Genuine emotions naturally push people toward connection. They don't stay silent for long because the feeling of missing someone creates an emotional pressure that demands release. The heart seeks closeness, reassurance, and comfort, and communication becomes the easiest path to achieve that. Real longing breaks through barriers. Distance, busy schedules, pride, fear, and hesitation may slow someone down, but they cannot stop true emotion. When missing you becomes stronger than these obstacles, action follows. A simple message, a late-night call, or an unexpected check-in becomes their way of easing that emotional pull. When someone misses you deeply, they find reasons instead of excuses. They look for moments, even small ones, to reconnect. They don't wait for perfect timing or ideal circumstances. They reach out because silence becomes heavier than speaking and absence becomes more painful than vulnerability. This understanding helps you stop overthinking and waiting. Instead of questioning your worth, you recognize that consistent silence usually reflects emotional distance or unreadiness. You begin to trust actions over promises and presence over potential. This clarity brings peace because you no longer live in uncertainty or false hope. By accepting that true feelings always find expression, you free yourself from emotional confusion. You learn to value consistency, honesty, and effort. And in doing so, you create space for relationships that are grounded in sincerity, respect, and emotional availability.